The 26th of January this year marked India's National Republic holiday. However, for much of India, the day signalled the first clash between Indian farmers and police officers after months of sustained but peaceful demonstrations on the outskirts of New Delhi. Following the death of at least one protester and the injury of 300 police officers, the protest has recently gained media attention. So what exactly is going on in India? The beginning of the farmers' protest originates in September 2020, when India's parliament, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, approved 3 new agricultural regulation laws to reshape farming in India. Since the hunger crisis of the 1960s, the government has guaranteed, at the very least, the minimum support price to its farmers by allowing them to sell crops at auction and mandis, which are government-regulated markets established by the Agricultural Produce Market Committee. However, no longer seeing such a large role for the government as sustainable, the new laws have created provisions for contract farming, whereby farmers sell directly to buyers, bypassing the government to enter into contract with private companies. The justification given for this change is that such laws would allow for more freedom for farmers to set their own prices, sell directly to buyers, and participate in private investment, thereby bringing growth. Indeed, it may be difficult to see at first glance the controversy behind this change. However, barely concealed behind the new laws are their anti-farmer and pro-corporation nature. If the APMC are to be eliminated, farmers will have no choice but to sell only to corporations, rendering them vulnerable to exploitation. This is particularly so given the declining economic power they hold, and given that despite more than 60% of India's 1.3 billion still depend primarily on agriculture for their livelihood, for which the sector now accounts for about 15% of the country's economic power. Furthermore, deregulation laws are also likely to lead to the elimination of the minimum support price, reducing farmers' incomes and offering little chance of a different livelihood. Given that many farmers are already struggling and remain in debt with the current levels of protection, this change does nothing but exacerbate the problem. In protest, millions of Indian farmers have been marching towards Delhi for months, demanding that the regulation be abolished and calling for more farmer-friendly policies to be implemented in their place. However, the Modi government has refused to respond, and especially with the recent eruption of the violence in New Delhi, the situation seems dire. Given what's at stake, it is unlikely for either side of the conflict to give up their demands, and it is uncertain how this situation, if it ever does, will diffuse. This animation is made by Pearl Hong of OxSID
and narrated by Talha Islam in February 2021.